finally got into bed at 11 a.m. and listened to a podcast for half an hour and then woke up at 8:30. So that's like 9 hours sleep, right? But I still couldn't get out of bed for 2 hours. So tired. Is that normal? Does anybody wake up feeling like rested? I want to show you a quick little life tip. I was looking at my bed and I'm like, oh God, I gotta make my bed. And then I remembered, oh no, a couple of days ago I took my top sheet off and just put that in the laundry, and I'm only using the comforter or the duvet, whatever it's called. It makes it so much simpler to just have the one thing. You just quickly put it on the bed and it's done. You don't have to line up the sheets. And I read an article a few months ago with some woman talking about how you really don't need a top sheet. Now that I think about it, I think maybe it was a comedic article, but it still made sense. It was like about the history of the top sheet and why you don't need it. And you can just wash this blanket. Like, having a top sheet doesn't really make a difference. And it has so changed my life. I put the top sheet back on recently and it was just bothering me and I forgot that I don't need it. And now, like, my life just feels so much simpler without it. So that's a tip in life. Like, is there something in your life that you always think you have to use, but then you're like, wait, I don't need to? Okay, I did my weights and then I only had time to run for half an hour because I wasted the whole morning doing God knows what. But now I'm gonna go to my audition. I just weighed myself and I'm down to 175.2 pounds. That's down from like 183 this summer. So like, I'm like a skinny mini. Look at that. My love handles are smaller. My baby is smaller. Oh God, my fly was totally down for that. Nobody noticed, right? I mean, never mind. Nothing to see there.
Sackville Street.
Hey guys, French?
Yeah, oh my god.
Maybe. Just
Busy times in the talent agency, I think. And there's my agent. I'll tell you a story about that in a second. I listened to it a couple of times just to see what it sounded like, but it's not really my thing. I just had a nice chat with the studio guy at my talent agency. He's in the basement. He was asking me if I'm a fan of WTF, the Mark Maron podcast, because I just said I want to be the next Mark Maron. And I was like, I prefer to be the performer than the listener. And my agent Noelle was saying, hey Josh, I haven't seen videos of your niece for a while. And I'm like, you know what, I haven't even seen her since July. So now I feel an obligation to go film her, because Noelle says, oh, I really like videos of your niece. And she also suspects that my niece is a left-handy. I think I showed her videos on my sister's Instagram of Avela boxing, I think. And swinging a baseball. She's like, that's a lefty move. And I'm like, oh, really? I don't know if she knows what she's doing, but said I couldn't find a video of her playing hockey, so I gotta find that. Also, this is a fantastic street in Toronto. What's it called? I forget, but it's like a whole, those are all tiny little cottages that they built for workers a long time ago. So if anybody wants to explore, let's do that. Also, I haven't left my apartment for a few days, and I'm wondering, when did it become summer again? Like, why is it so warm out in the end of November? Oh my God, we're all gonna die. And then we got into a long talk about Star Trek, and I told him that I heard that Orville is a better Star Trek than the actual Star Trek. And he's like, what? Oh, thank you. So he wrote that down. He's excited to hear about that, because he was saying he's gotten into the new Star Trek. He likes it now, so I guess I'll check it out. Oh, and I took a picture of myself in the studio, and then I forgot to film the audition. I like filming my auditions so I can, well, I never go back and watch them, but in case I get the part one day, it'll be fun to see how I auditioned. Does anybody care? Do they want to see my auditions in the future? I filmed my last one last week, if you want to see. The only thing I've eaten so far today is a rice cake. Now, it was a white cheddar flavored rice cake, so I guess that's extra calories, but still, it's pretty good. If I can keep this up for another month, I will totally lose weight. Kathleen's gonna come over, and I think we're gonna get groceries. I guess I could probably survive on my chicken and rice for a bit longer, but that's not a good plan, so I should just get groceries now, get it over with. And there's also this woman, Alana, like a weird spelling, like A-L-A-A-N-A, and she's like a body artist. Like, she rolls around in paint naked, or maybe not naked, I don't know. She rolls around in paint, and I matched with her, or I was chatting with her on Inner Circle. Inner Circle let me back on. I wrote an email groveling, saying I didn't mean to spam your people by asking if they wanted to be on a podcast. And they said, okay, but we're watching you. I'm like, okay. Anyways, so I matched with her, and she's just moving back to Toronto from Winnipeg. And I talked to her last night on the phone, and she says she needs a place to live. And somehow I mentioned, well, she's like, oh, you have a spare bedroom? Or, I don't know. And she wants to come see it to possibly live here, because she wants a space where she can set up and do her body painting. Okay, I just got interrupted by a phone call from Alana, or Alana, or whatever she pronounces it like. She went on some rambling story about having her bike stolen in the Oh no, she was just gonna, yeah, and she was gonna go find a bike right now. She left it unlocked in the backyard of some guy's house beside this big shelter for homeless people, and she's surprised that the bike is not there now, that she went back to check. And now she's coming over here. Why do I do this to myself? Let's see what Kathleen thinks of the new place. What do you think? Look, come in quick and react.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
Crazy.
This is actually the after photo, believe it or not. So I'm eating now. This is my second rice cake with tuna and mayonnaise. I guess, I don't know, is that healthy? Who knows? And Kathleen has picked some bags for the cart, and Alana is parking her Bixie bike, and she's coming upstairs. Alana, is it Alana or Alana?
Alana.
Alana?
Yeah.
She's okay with being on camera. She just told us all. She's going to give me a free sample. She's going to put metal bars in my head and erase all my bad feelings.
Not metal bar. Well, they're energetic bars.
Energetic bars.
Yeah.
Very crowded here, but we're doing it. Lana told us stories for a long time at the apartment about her many creative endeavors, her body painting, her energy transfer massage, her dancing, her exotic dancing. Kathleen has a quarter. I never have a quarter. She just put it in. It wasn't working. She doesn't know how to do this. Okay, hold on. I don't think you're... Is it even supposed to be a quarter? Yeah, this is supposed to... All right, hold on. I'll do it. All right, I did it. But I just did it on a different one. This one's probably broken. Okay, so we got a little one. I can push my own cart. Oh man, this is like having a wife. She's like, you didn't get the look I just gave you after the wife thing. And I'm like, no, I wasn't saying she's a slave. I'm saying, like, if you're with a wife, you have two people to do stuff. One can have the one cart, another can have the other cart. You can talk. Like, when I get groceries myself, I just talk to my phone and nobody helps me. Kathleen says I was very nice talking to Alana. But Kathleen said, watching how nice you were to her, it makes me think I should be nicer. I'm too judgmental. So I'm getting a bag of oranges because I read an article recently talking about how an amazing thing you can do is to have a hot shower in the morning and eat an orange, like rip it apart and eat it and feel the juices flowing all over you. So I'm going to do that. Even though the comments in the article, people were saying it's like, or even I think the person who posted it was saying it was white privilege, like only white people have the time and money to have an orange in the shower in the morning. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, now I remember. Yeah, it's this woman, I think, who every article she posts is about white privilege and hating white people. And I mean, she looks white to me, but maybe she's kind of Arab or something. But so I've stopped following her because it just gets me upset. But yeah, I'm eating my oranges. Oh, I came over here for the Wonder Bread because it's usually cheaper, and the Country Harvest was over there. But I see the Country Harvest is even cheaper. It's only $1.67, and they have new Rustic Bean. I love chickpeas. I want my name to be Rustic Bean. From now on, everybody has to call me Rustic Bean. Hello, I don't know though. Rustic Bean would be good for like savory things, like tuna sandwich or chicken sandwich. But I wouldn't want to put peanut butter and jam on lentils. So maybe I would get the farmer's bread for that. That sounds good. Or 12 grams. I'm gonna get the Rustic Bean because it has pulses. I don't even know what pulses is, but there's 3 grams of it, so I'm very excited. And this is seeds and grains. Oh my god, I feel like I'm living on a farm. Oh, you know how there's never the unsalted butter? Like it says no name salted butter, and it's salted and unsalted. The unsalted is still salted, and I didn't want to pay extra for the fancy butter. It's normally $5.99 for the fancy unsalted butter. But check it out, Gaily Unsalted on sale. Same price as the no name. Guess who's getting some butter? Guess who's getting fat? Taste it, price compare. I was about to grab this, $2.77. It's no name, that's good. But then I was like, wait a minute. Oh, these are only $2.49 for halal. I'm like, okay, that's good. But then I was like, wait, $1.77, and it's probiotic. These are the groceries. I lugged back. We walked all the way back from the grocery store. I am a superhero. Now I gotta unload all this. It was so warm out, I didn't need my Ernie hat on, and it actually fell out twice when I got off the streetcar, and then when I was walking across the street, and twice people have come up to me and said, excuse me, is this your hat? So I don't know if Ernie's trying to escape, but I won't let him. Actually, apparently I would let him, but strangers won't let me. Or maybe he wants to be with me and he just keeps falling and people are helping him. Thanks. Thanks, Bert. Thanks for saving me, Bert. Thanks for Josh. Thanks for... whatever. Lana called while I was in line for the cash. She's like, what are you still doing there? It's been like 2 hours, haha. But maybe it just seems late because it's dark out. Whatever. she wants my help with a bunch of things. I know some work connections I could connect her with, and also she wants a recommendation for a dentist because she chipped her tooth, or I guess the filling fell off from a chip. I don't know. So I got to do that. And why else did she call me? Oh, because to tell me about something at Super Wonder Gallery. There's some kind of burlesque comedy show tonight. And I looked it up, and my friend Angela is on the list as interested, and she actually reminds me of Alana. Alana does lots of weird energy healing stuff and massage and burlesque things and performance-y things. And I said, you'd like my friend Angela. She's into all the same things. And then sure enough, she's into the exact same show. So maybe I'll set the two of them up. But when I set up girls who would get along together, they usually sort of then don't talk to me anymore. Like okay, years ago, I can't remember her name anymore, but there was this girl I was going to meet at a bar, at a party, and I was meeting up with another girl at that party, and I was running late, so I told the second girl, hey, go look for that girl and meet up with her. And anyways, they became best friends, and they were at each other's weddings, and neither of them will talk to me anymore. So, well, I guess maybe it's not that they won't talk to me anymore. Clearly I can't even remember their names, so I'm out of the loop too. Just, it's tough to be, like, I like to be one of the girls, but I'm not a girl, so it's different. And if you're not dating someone, then the girls are like, bye. Oh, and remind me to fill you in on the whole situation with that Miriam girl who fed me the shark, and on what happened with Katie. Kathleen was just saying, yeah, whatever happened, I didn't understand the Miriam thing. Like, it opened up questions, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta fill you in on that. Oh man, I am so mad right now. I'm gonna try to not say things that I will regret. And I won't mention names, but a woman just commented under the video. Remember that video from a couple days ago where I went to meet the girl and then I sat beside her and she didn't notice me and I left? Okay, so a mutual friend, a woman, just commented under the video and tagged the woman in the video saying, hey, so you went to meet this woman and for a date and she didn't notice you were there? Fine, that is true. But then the woman in the video messaged and said, hey, a friend of mine just commented on a video you posted disparaging me, and since we've already talked about it and worked it out, I'd like you to take that down, please. And then I pointed that out to the woman who left the comment. I said, you just left a comment under a video, and now the woman in the video is mad, and I didn't name her, like a last name or anything. Nobody would know it's her except you, because you know her, and none of my other friends know her. And then this woman's like, well, you taped her surreptitiously. You shouldn't be filming people who don't know about it, and I assumed that you're friends, and she knew that about the video and everything. Here's the thing. It was in public. I didn't show her. I didn't name her anyways. And this was a bad situation for me. She asked me to come meet her. I went to meet her, and she didn't notice me. It's my fault. I was late showing up. I mean, we'd never set a time, but I didn't get there early, so fine, whatever. And you know what? She says she didn't notice me, and that's fine. She was totally engrossed with the guy. She didn't look over at the weird bald guy beside her. That's fine. But I did her a favor by not interrupting. I could have been like, hello, Katie, I'm here, and then it would have ruined things with this hot guy she was talking to, and then it would have been awkward. So I did her a favor, and in fact, I did her a favor in the first place. I didn't want to see the Grey Cup. I didn't want to go all the way out to that bar. But I thought, okay, she invited me, I'll do a nice thing, and I showed up. And then I did another nice thing by showing up and not interfering with the guy and leaving. So, hello. And I let her know as I was leaving. I said, bye, and just took off. And she says, she yelled out Josh, and she figured, well, he's taken off in a huff, which I was. I mean, it was very embarrassing for me, the whole thing. Like, it was just a bad situation. I did everything I could to make the situation better. It would have been, I guess, better for me to just tap on her shoulder, but then she would have been stuck with me instead of the guy, and the guy would have been like, oh, like I didn't want to C-block her, so I just left. I went all the way to that bar to see the girl. She didn't notice me for like half an hour. She was talking to another guy. It was embarrassing for me. It was a bad situation. So what I did is tell you about it, like in my video, just to ease my own pain. But anyways, I don't need to hear from women who are now living in Florida that, hey, you should be a nicer person and blah, blah, blah. It's like, God, these people who are so judgmental, you know what? I've half a mind to just block them from Facebook, but I learned that lesson with my ex-girlfriend. We were sort of having nice chats a lot, and then she said something nasty about Israel bombing the poor Palestinians, and I just lost my mind. That was the bombing that happened when I was in Israel, so I saw the missiles literally flying over my own head. They were trying to kill me, And then she's like, oh, these poor Palestinians, these Israelis are picking on them. So I was just calmly explaining what was really going on, and this ex-girlfriend of mine lost it. She's like, you've been brainwashed, you know, and you're just obviously trying to score political points for your politics, and you're not telling the truth. And like, this is a girl who actually thinks the moon landing was faked. So I think I dodged a bullet by not marrying her. But anyways, I wound up just unfriending her, and maybe I didn't block her, but I unfriended her. And then you could never go back after that. I can't send another friend request, so I should have let her unfriend me. So that's what I've decided. You know what? If people want to unfriend me, go ahead, but I'm not going to do the unfriending because then it's on me. And hopefully all this blows over. I don't think I've done anything wrong, and everybody's being all pissy, but whatever. But I guess if people start posting mean things about me on my wall and spreading lies and stuff, I'll have to block people. But who knows? Whatever. Here's the thing. Because if I couldn't make a comedic little video about the stupid situation, it would have been just like a 3-hour waste of my time that just ruined my night and was embarrassing to me. So I've turned it into comedy. And I didn't use last names, and I didn't show faces. So, I'm allowed to do that with my life. I also didn't say anything bad about anyone. I went back and I looked at the comment I put above the video originally, and I did say, the girl, brackets, supposedly didn't notice me. Because in my own head, I still wasn't sure whether she noticed me, and I'm not even sure. She says she didn't notice me. I'll buy that, and probably, nobody's gonna be crazy enough to just. I know she didn't notice me, so I went back just now and I changed the comment to say she didn't notice me. I was late. She didn't notice me. I didn't want to interfere, so I left. So it's all clear, and it was all clear in the video in the first place. So whatever. I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. People can pass their moral judgments. People can say I'm a bad person. I don't really care. I was saying to Kathleen on the walk back home that I just need to associate with good people, people who elevate me, people who are achieving great things. That's how you live your life and you raise yourself. You can't be hanging out with people who have negative energy, who are dragging you down. You become the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. And I've already wasted too much energy and emotional just even talking about this issue. But again, it's content. I'm sharing a story with you. Hopefully it's entertaining you. Hopefully it's inspiring you or helping you, comforting you. People have told me that these vlogs make them feel better because I think about things the way they do, and it makes them feel less alone, and it makes them feel less bad about their own quirks. Sorry, I was just turning down the temperature because that vent's very loud. So I'm doing this to help people. I'm not spending all day talking into my phone because I get anything out of it. I'm not making any money from it. It's not really creatively fulfilling me. I'm doing it to help people and to try to make them feel better. So that's why I'm doing this. If anybody doesn't want to be a part of my life, and I do ask people, like I asked Alana today before filming her, I said, is it okay if you're on camera? I'd like to, have you part of my vlog. She's like, yeah, for sure. She's an actress. She wants to be promoted, so great. She didn't say she's an actress, she wants to be promoted. I'm just extrapolating that from her. Yeah, sure. So great. And if anybody doesn't want to be a part of my life or doesn't want to watch these things or whatever, don't. It's a free world. Bye, everyone. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Kathleen was texting me, and then somehow she's like, I don't know how to answer this. I'm like, I didn't call you. You just called me on Facebook. She's like, I didn't call you. I'm like, I didn't call you. I was on Instagram. Whatever, we just had a long chat. I just told her about all this nonsense, and she's like, oh, I forgot. I'm not just rambling into a long video. I gotta keep these short. She said, you gotta stop investing emotional energy into all this nonsense. You gotta associate with better people. Want to dip into the mailbag quick, so I want to show you a letter from Joe or whatever her name is. So here's a letter from a couple of days ago when she thanked me for telling her how I got the eggs out of my skillet. That's about a few days ago. I was making eggs, fried eggs, and then I realized the spatula was in my dishwasher, both spatulas, and I didn't know how I was going to get the eggs off my frying pan. I'm like, with a fork? I don't know. But then I never filled her in, so I never told you what I did. So she messaged me. She's like, don't leave us hanging. How'd you get the eggs out of the pan? And I revealed that I just scraped them with my fork and made a big mess. Anyways, so here's a message she just sent me a few minutes ago about my rant that I've been doing. She says if it were her, she would have been scanning looking for the guy like she was supposed to meet with, me. And how do you not notice somebody sitting beside you for half an hour? She says I was nicer than she would have been. Thank you. I feel like Trump now. Like, I want support. Like, Trump's always like, aren't I a great person? Tell me how great I am. But everybody wants affirmation that they're doing a good job, so, or are a nice person. So thank you. What is your name? I can't. It's Joe Lore. Oh, anyways, thank you, you. And here's a quick comment from Hannah, who just posted about my rant a few minutes ago about my ex-girlfriend who was attacking Israel. She says, don't argue with these anti-Israel types. They're not worth it. And she's right. My ex-girlfriend's specific comment about that was like, the Palestinians are like bullies flicking matches over a fence, and the Israelis should be nicer to them and not fight back. But the problem with that is that the Palestinians do have missiles, and they were shooting them in Israel, and there was air raid sirens going off all the time while I was there. And when I got out... let me think. Oh, yeah, now I remember. I was meeting with a friend at a beachside patio, and I was going to walk back to the hotel, and she's like, you really shouldn't. You should take a cab because you don't know which doorways to dive into if the missiles are coming. And that's how people are living in Israel. These aren't like bullies with matches. Those are missiles. Every single building in Israel is built with a bomb shelter underneath. Like even my hotel that I was staying at. And I was scared because I didn't hear the air raid sirens a few times, and I was supposed to run to the bomb shelter during the night. So I'm lucky I didn't get blown up. Oh God, Alana just texted me saying that guy was weird. And this is another guy she met on the inner circle, which is where I met her. And she showed me, I'm not sure which tense to use. She showed me, when we were standing on the corner before, she showed me on her phone messages from some guy who was criticizing her grammar, saying it's Y-O-U'-R-E, not Y-O-U-R. He was telling her grammar is very important, and he was saying you're not making yourself very appealing, and he was saying he just wants to hook up, so if you're okay with that. And she's like, well, I'd want to meet you first. And he's like, well, maybe I'd buy you dinner. And then she was telling me, she's like, oh, great, buy me dinner. I don't want to have dinner with a guy who's a jerk. But she just messaged me saying, yeah, that guy was weird. He was rude and aggressive. Why'd you meet up with him? You knew that already. You're like my other friend. And I'm going to use the name. It was Jody. Jody was talking to that weird anti-feminist guy that insulted her, I mean. And I'm like, why were you engaging? She's like, oh, I saw that video where you said that, even though I hadn't used her name in it. And she's like, I was just trying to, I think she said she was trying to explain things to him so he'd be nicer to other women in the future. Why are you people wasting time with these guys? I told a story to Alana while we were staying on that corner too. I told her the one time I got a lap dance was like 10 years ago, or it was a really cute girl. Me and a couple of guy friends were in Ottawa. We were the only ones in the Fairfax. And there was this brunette with glasses from Montreal, totally my type. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna get like a dance, a private dance. And my friend Renee said, listen, man, she's gonna try to keep you in the back for like hours, take lots of money from you, get out of there after half an hour. I was like, yeah. So then I went in there, and she started to do her little dance, but I was like talking to her. I was like, how are things? Like, how's your life? And she's like, oh, you just want to talk. So she sat down, and she talked to me for like, well, she just talked about her boyfriend troubles. Like, there's this guy, but he's not a nice guy, and it's hard to meet a nice guy. And I wound up giving her a back rub, and she never got naked. And then 3 hours later, I come out of there, and I owed her hundreds of dollars. And my friends are like, what? And she wanted to go for dinner, and I'm like, I got to go meet up with my parents. So I came back later, and then her friend was like, no, her friend says she went back to Montreal. She thought you weren't coming back. I was like, but I had given her my email address or got hers or something. She wound up calling me for years, every month, asking me for advice on guys, which is totally cool. And I wanted to see her one time. I was in Montreal with a girlfriend, the one who actually turned out to hate Israel. And she's like, you can go see her if you want on your own, and then, you won't have a girlfriend. I'm like, all right. So I wasn't allowed to go see her, but, I make friends with women. Anyways, I think we've covered the Katie thing enough. I want to just cover the Miriam story, because Kathleen says she wasn't exactly clear. So I met Miriam on Happen. It's this app that shows you who's around you. And I don't meet most women I match with on these sites. I just like making new friends, and hey, you can follow me on social media, and sometimes they wind up following and enjoying these videos and stuff. So I matched with this girl, and then she asked, do you want to get together on Sunday? And I was like, sure. The only time I meet up with people is if they actually put a lot of effort and they say they want to meet me, and then I go, okay, well, they have good taste and I'm willing to meet them. But I don't normally put the effort in myself, like unless I'm really, I can't even think of any time I have. So she messaged me Sunday morning, and she's like, I just want to make sure, are we still getting together? And I think an hour later or something, I texted back, yep, and that was it. And, I'm busy. I don't really need to meet people. Like, I just, I got my own thing. So I expected her to text back, and she didn't, so I just left it. So then I got a text around 9 p.m. when all that Katie stuff was happening, and she was upset. She's like, oh, you're a loser like all the other Happen guys. And she put 2 O's in loser. And I wanted to correct her grammar, but no, I'm not a jerk. And you know what? I could see she was upset. I defended myself, saying, well, you never texted back, and I don't know where you live, and, like, how was I supposed to meet up with you? She's like, I told you, young in Eglinton, like she told me days ago. I was like, all right. But then she started saying things like, I'm just here, I'm cooking fish, and crying. And I'm like, crying? So I started to feel bad, So then I agreed. I said, and she said, if you want, like, I would love a hug. Like, if you could just, if you could agree to just that, like a hug. I'm like, all right, fine. You know what? I'm going to come up and give you a hug. So I went all the way up to Yonge and Eglinton. And when I talked to her, I found out, she was sad because I hadn't shown up. And she feels very alone in the world. She's been here from Iran for a year. She moved here with like a boyfriend who was a jerk, and eventually she broke up with him. She got rid of him. But she says she doesn't really have any friends, no close friends, like maybe a woman she sees once a month. And so she felt very sad. So I said, listen, I'm going to bring you out. You can come to my little parties. I'll introduce you to Kathleen. I'll find you some girlfriends. And for some reason, she had bought fish and shark at this Asian grocery store at Don Mills in Eglinton. And she had cooked the shark up. And so she had me eat some shark, and that's why we were eating shark. And I noticed a pack of cigarettes on her desk, and so I can't be with a smoker in any romantic way, so that's off my list. I assume it's hers. I don't know. Maybe her friend. She said her friend left some other stuff there. Maybe. I don't think that was her friend's cigarettes. I don't know. I did like her desk, though. I immediately recognized it as being from Structube. It's like that desk that I bought. Sorry, I had to burp there, so I cut that one off. I bought it a couple years ago, and I put it there, and then I realized, it's just blocking my view. So I sold it to somebody. There's an early video on YouTube of me ranting about how the desk had ruined my life, and it was stressing me out, and because I couldn't see through it, like it wasn't glass, so I felt like it was blocking. It's a whole thing. You can go watch it if you want. I really should go to bed soon, because going to bed at 10 o'clock is key for my life plan. It's 9:46. I just want to answer one more letter from the mailbox. We're going to dip into the mailbag. This just came from Crystal about 15 minutes ago. She said, I just need to know, do you drink? You said you don't drink, but then in another video you said you finished some wine that somebody left in a glass. Okay, let me try to tell you my history of drinking very briefly. I didn't drink in high school. I always thought it was ridiculous. I was like, why are people drinking? You're getting drunk. It's ruining your brain. So I didn't drink anything until university. And then there's a picture of me at the Brunswick House, my first time getting drunk, drinking from a pitcher. And beside me was Sarah, who would later become my girlfriend, and still the girl I'm upset about breaking up with for no reason. Anyways, so that I started drinking. And I don't like the taste of beer or alcohol in general. And I'm not a drinker, but I would drink on weekends. I would drink at pub nights. Just to have confidence to talk to girls. And this would continue after university. I would go to the bar, my apartment that used to be over there, and about 4 Mike Hard lemonades would be, that'd be a full night for me. I'd be feeling it, but I wouldn't be too sick. I'm just getting low power notices, that's why I have to turn them off. And then maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I met some girl, probably online somehow, and she was a beautiful photographer, and she invited me out to a charity event, and I was trying to match her drink for drink, and then some guys bought us shots. I wound up at her place. I woke up the next morning. I was so sick. I could barely move. She had to sort of feed me toast sideways because I was still in bed, and I walked to work. I couldn't even take the subway. I felt so sick, and I couldn't even pick up litter off the ground. I felt so sick, and I wound up trying to have a nap under my desk. I shouldn't even have gone to work. I don't know what I was doing, but I think I had to do some voiceover there or something. Anyways, after that I realized, why am I drinking at all? Like, I could go out and not drink and then feel great the next day. So from then on, I would go to bars and I would just drink water. And then I would know that the next day I can be functional. I'm not making myself sick. I'm not making the next day not productive. I can get up the next day and know I'm going to be great. And in fact, I'll be even better because I was hydrating all night. And so now it's not like a religious thing, like I don't drink. It's just, I don't see the point. It's extra calories. It does brain damage, and I want to preserve my brain. It's, my most valuable thing. Clearly, it's a very valuable thing when I don't even know how to phrase that properly. So basically, the only times I'll drink is like in special occasions. Probably the last time I drank a significant amount was my 40th birthday 5 years ago. Oh no, I'm not supposed to say how old I am. And then if I'm with a girl, basically the only times I'll drink now is if there's like a possibility, like there's a girl nearby that I want to talk to, and it kind of will give me some liquid confidence or make the whole thing more fun. And then when I do drink, I try to have wine, because they say wine is good for you, red wine in particular, because of the antioxidants and the tannins in red wine. So that's what I drink, because I feel like, oh, I'm being kind of healthy. Like it's resveratrol. That's the nutrient that's supposed to extend life. Now they say the amount of resveratrol you would need to actually extend your life, like the kinds they're giving to rats in tests now, is like hundreds of thousands of bottles of wine's worth or something. But still, I mean, it also feels like it's natural. It's grapes, right? It's a fruit. And I feel like with Mike's Hard Lemonade, well, you're drinking sugar and vodka. That's not healthy. But grapes is good for you. So, yeah. Have some wine. I don't mind a little bit of wine. It makes me feel warm inside. But normally I don't drink. And a few years ago, I met this girl, not even online. Like, she was the friend of this other girl I liked who went off and married some bearded guy. And we went up hanging out a bunch, and I think I kissed her once. One time she was finally like, are you going to kiss me? And we kissed. And she was like, finally. But then we were going to go out another time, and we were going to meet at some beer place she wanted to meet at. And she's like, oh, but you don't drink. Yeah, I don't want to sit there. And because she drank a lot. She loved drinking. And she's like, if you're not going to drink, I don't want to meet up. And I was like, well, I guess you're not the type of person for me. But even my friend Steve is like, hey, we should do brunch or something on weekends. Or if you actually start drinking, we could meet up for drinks. So it probably would help my social life if I drank. But then it would, my brain would melt. And it I kind of wish I did drink more. Like when I first met Raquel off the Shaper app, we met for coffee, and then she invited me to a rum club, and I did have little samples of the rum, but then I was like, can I hang out with her? Like, she drinks, professionally. Not professionally, but she goes to rum clubs. And I just feel like with people who drink or who do drugs, I feel like they're not really with me. Like, they always want to be doing that thing. Like a smoker wants to be smoking at all times. Sorry, I got to burp again. I eat too much. Maybe that's my vice. I mean, burping is my vice, not eating. You gotta eat. Although I did eat too much. Yeah, you know what? I think I am addicted to eating crap late at night. I ate 3 of those chocolate caramel rice cakes. Put peanut butter on it, but it's sugar-free peanut butter, so that's okay, right? Oh, and we'll go to the mailbag one more time before I go to bed. I just checked my screen grabs, and I see it was from Hannah. I forgot it was from her that said, I had a dream about you last night. No joke. Here's that comment. I'm not sure Hannah actually understands how Instagram works. She never replies to my story. Personally, she always goes to one of my latest photos and leaves the comment under there and says, check out one of my photos today. She put under it, oh, did you just put a quarter in the grocery cart? We do that at Audi store. Like Audi the car, but maybe Audi is a grocery store. Maybe she's in Israel. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, she just said she had a dream about me, and here's my thought on that. I actually had a dream about a girl a few days ago. I follow some girls on Instagram, to be honest, sometimes just because they're cute. And, I imagine, what if I was their boyfriend? And then one of these girls entered my dreams, because you tend to dream about... dreams are your brain's way of processing what happened during the day. It's adding things to your memory permanently, which is why if you don't get enough sleep, you don't actually form memories, because that's when your brain is permanently forming memories. So sometimes you'll dream about the things that happened during the day. And for me, a lot of times, I'm just sitting in my apartment talking to myself and checking my phone. So, there's not going to be a lot to go in there, so it'll be one of those girls from my Instagram stories. Not from my stories, but from the ones I'm watching. So anyways, it started me thinking, because I dreamt about her, I was like, I wonder if I'm in anybody else's dreams. Because people are watching this, and then, it's going to be the same thing. I'll just be something you watch during the day, and then, haha, Hannah says that is what happened. I got into her dreams. So I hope it was a good dream. I hope I treated you well, Hannah. I don't even know if that's your name. What is your... People have long, complex usernames. That's why I'm just going to start going with Celebrity Josh. It's easy to remember. Oh, and check it out. This is going to be reversed for... I'll show it non-reversed. I took these signs out when I was decluttering the past couple of days. I took them off the shelf, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put these out in the open. And Alana noticed that today, and she was like, what's Celebrity Josh? I'm like, what's Celebrity Josh? I'm Celebrity Josh! And actually, yeah, on the podcast I was listening to last night, The Weekly Planet, they were talking about Hollywood Pete. Hollywood Pete said this, and I'm like, that's a good name. He's Hollywood Pete. Well, I'm Celebrity Josh, and actually there is a HollywoodJosh.com. I looked that up. Some black guy, which has nothing to do with anything. I don't think that makes me racist, though. Pointing out that someone's black or white or Asian, I don't think that makes you racist. Saying that, they should be your slave would make you racist. Anyway, I don't even know, would that make you racist? I guess that's not a good thing. I don't know. I should Google what the word racist means. People say everything is racist now. I don't know. Anyways, what was I talking about? Okay, did you see that? I just looked up HollywoodJosh.com and I just showed you a screen grab. That's why I said he was some black guy. He's a black guy. He's like super muscular, shaved head. I can't compete with that. It's like when I said, oh, I didn't say that out loud to her, but to the Jessica singer who was, like the other night, the black girl, kind of black, she's probably half black. But anyway, she had a boyfriend with her who was like a big black guy. And I was like, Kathleen, I can't compete with that. And what I mean by that is if you're into black guys, I'm not that. Like there was a girl at university who only dated black guys. She was a white girl. And if like that's your thing, that's your thing. And there was this girl, Lisa, who used to live in our old condo, only dated Lisa was very white, but she only dated Filipino guys. Like that was very specific, not just Asians, Filipinos. She wound up married one. She wound up marrying one. She's got half Filipino babies. And I can't compete with that. But, you know, black guys especially I can't compete with. And I don't know if this is racist, but when black guys are muscular, they're big. And you know what they say as well, that they're well endowed. And it's the opposite of me. Let me clarify, when I say the opposite of me, I'm not referring to necessarily... All right, I am. But it doesn't matter because size doesn't matter, right? Right? Hello? Hello? Size doesn't... It's what you do with it, right? No? All right, let's shut this down. I don't even know like if there's a length of limit to Instagram stories. Like if I go too long, I won't be able to download it or something. So, it's 10:01. Good time to go to bed. Gonna get a webcam tomorrow so I can do my big interview on Thursday. So we'll talk tomorrow. Good night.